Hold on to your terrible towels. Steelers fans. It seems former running back Najee Harris has ruffled some feathers since joining the Los Angeles Chargers. While some players leave with a thank you and a fond farewell, Harris' exit has apparently been marked by some less than glowing remarks about his time in Pittsburgh. And ESPN analyst Bart Scott has heard enough. Scott, a former NFL linebacker known for his outspoken opinions, didn't hold back when discussing Harris' comments. He labeled Harris as ungrateful, emphasizing the consistent playoff appearances the Steelers made during Harris' tenure with the team. Scott's point is pretty clear. Harris was part of a winning organization, and his criticism after leaving doesn't sit well. Scott highlighted the fact that making the playoffs every year of your career is a significant achievement and doesn't just happen by chance. He suggested that Harris might come to realize just how good he had it in Pittsburgh once he experiences a different environment in Los Angeles. Interestingly, the article draws a comparison between the coaching styles of Mike Tomlin and the Chargers' new head coach Jim Harbaugh. This suggests that the culture and approach might not be as drastically different for Harris as he might think. The grass isn't always greener analogy definitely seems fitting here. Bart Scott's strong reaction underscores the sentiment that some feel Harris should have shown more appreciation for his time with the Steelers, an organization known for its stability and success. This little bit of offseason drama is sure to add some extra intrigue when the Chargers and Steelers eventually face off on the field. It'll be a matchup with some added personal stakes. That's for sure. Alright, 49ers faithful. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the quarterback in the contract negotiations. Brock Purdy, the guy who went from the very last pick in the draft to leading your team to the Super Bowl, is reportedly looking to cash in big time. Forget those whispers of a team-friendly deal, folks, because Mr. Irrelevant is apparently demanding some serious respect in the form of a top-tier quarterback contract. The 49ers have been making some cost-cutting moves this offseason, and it's becoming increasingly clear that a significant chunk of that saved cash might be earmarked for Purdy's upcoming extension. And according to NFL Network insider Mike Garafolo, Purdy isn't thinking small. We're talking about a potential payday in the $50 to $55 million annual range, putting him right up there with some of the league's established stars. Remember the narrative that Purdy is just a system quarterback? Garafolo threw some serious shade at that idea, pointing out that the 49ers have tried plugging other guys into that system, and it hasn't exactly produced the same results. So, it seems Purdy knows his worth to this team. With the NFL salary cap taking a healthy leap, the financial landscape for quarterbacks is shifting. Even at the lower end of the top-tier spectrum, we're looking at numbers that would surpass guys like Trevor Lawrence. And while Purdy might not reach the astronomical figures of someone like Dak Prescott, he's reportedly aiming to be in that neighborhood. Interestingly, there are reports suggesting some unhappiness within the 49ers organization regarding how certain past contracts were negotiated. This could potentially add another layer of complexity to the talks with Purdy's camp. Will the 49ers be willing to open up the vault to the extent that Purdy desires? Or will this turn into a lengthy and potentially contentious negotiation? One thing is for sure. Brock Purdy's contract situation is shaping up to be one of the most fascinating storylines of the NFL offseason. He went from underdog to potential franchise cornerstone, and now he wants to be compensated accordingly. Get ready for some serious contract talk. 49ers fans, this could get very interesting. Very quickly. The quarterback carousel in the NFL just keeps on spinning. And the latest player to find a seat is Jameis Winston. The veteran quarterback has reportedly agreed to a 2-year, $8 million deal with the New York Giants, adding another layer of intrigue to their offseason quarterback shuffle. With Daniel Jones heading to the Indianapolis Colts, the Giants were in need of some reinforcements under center, and Winston brings a wealth of experience to the table. While the contract suggests he'll likely be a backup, it provides the Giants with a solid veteran presence and a capable player who can step in if needed. But don't think for a second that the Giants are done addressing their quarterback situation. Reports continue to indicate that they are still actively pursuing a potential blockbuster move for Aaron Rodgers. Imagine the storyline. Winston is the reliable backup with the potential future Hall of Famer Rodgers leading the charge. That would certainly shake up the NFC East. Adding another layer to the quarterback intrigue is the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft. Holding the third overall pick, the Giants are widely expected to consider drafting a quarterback of the future. Names like Colorado's Shedeur Sanders have been frequently mentioned as potential targets. So, the Giants could be looking at a quarterback room featuring a veteran backup in Winston, a high-potential rookie, and possibly even Aaron Rodgers. Winston is coming off his 10th NFL season, spending the year with the Cleveland Browns. He saw significant playing time after Deshaun Watson's injury, throwing for over 2.100 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's proven he can still play at this level, even if his turnover numbers have been a talking point throughout his career. Ultimately, the signing of Jameis Winston is a smart move for the New York Giants. It provides them with much-needed quarterback depth and flexibility as they continue to explore all their options, including the pursuit of Aaron Rodgers and the potential selection of a quarterback in the upcoming draft. The quarterback puzzle in New York is far from complete, and it's going to be fascinating to watch how the rest of the pieces fall into place. The NFL quarterback free agency saga is reaching its climax, and it looks like we might have a forced pairing on the horizon. The Cleveland Browns and veteran quarterback Russell Wilson are increasingly looking like each other's most viable option as the market for signal callers continues to dry up. With a flurry of quarterback signings across the league, Daniel Jones to the Colts, Geno Smith to the Raiders, Sam Darnold to the Seahawks, and so on, the pool of available veterans is shrinking rapidly. The Browns, despite trading for Kenny Pickett, are still in the market for another experienced quarterback. Meanwhile, Wilson, seeking a fresh start, has seen many potential landing spots disappear. The article highlights that the Steelers, who were initially mentioned as a possibility for Wilson, have now turned their full attention to Aaron Rodgers. This leaves the Browns as perhaps the most logical destination for Wilson, especially after he already visited their facility. The Browns have also explored other avenues, reportedly showing interest in Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz. However, acquiring Cousins would likely require a trade, increasing his cost, while signing Wentz is described as a less than ideal scenario. Given the limited options for both the Browns and Wilson, it appears they might be heading towards an agreement. The article even suggests that the Browns might be able to leverage Wilson's lack of other suitors to negotiate a more favorable contract. It's a fascinating situation where necessity might just bring these two together. Will Russell Wilson be throwing passes in Cleveland next season? It certainly seems like the most likely outcome as the NFL quarterback free agency puzzle continues to take shape. Keep your eyes peeled for an official announcement. The NFL draft buzz is reaching a fever pitch, and a recent mock draft has thrown a potentially legendary storyline into the mix. Touchdown Wire has projected Shedeur Sanders, the talented quarterback from Colorado and son of Deion, primetime, Sanders, falling to the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 12. Yes, you heard that right, the Cowboys, Deion's former team. While many expect Shedeur to be a top 5 pick, this mock draft scenario is certainly intriguing. Imagine the younger Sanders donning the star and playing in the same stadium where his Hall of Fame father once roamed the secondary. The nostalgia factor alone would be off the charts. But the mock draft writers didn't stop there. They even suggested a potential succession plan in Dallas, with Deion Sanders possibly stepping in to coach the Cowboys if the current regime underperforms. The rumors of Coach Prime eventually making his way to the NFL have been persistent, and Shedeur landing in Dallas would only amplify those whispers. Of course, Colorado fans can breathe a sigh of relief for now. It's just a mock draft, and Shedeur falling that far is considered unlikely. However, it's a fun hypothetical to consider as we inch closer to the actual draft. In other mock draft news, Shedeur's teammate, the incredibly talented two-way start Travis Hunter, is projected to go to the Cleveland Browns at pick number 2. That would give the Browns an immediate playmaker and a potential future superstar. Ultimately, mock drafts are just educated guesses. But this one involving Shedeur Sanders and the Dallas Cowboys has definitely injected some extra excitement into the pre-draft process. Whether it actually happens remains to be seen. But the thought of the Sanders legacy potentially continuing in Dallas is certainly a captivating one for NFL fans. Jameis Winston has officially joined the New York Giants, and he didn't need a lengthy press conference to express his excitement. In true social media fashion, the veteran quarterback kept it short, sweet, and to the point with a forward message for Giants fans: Big Blue. Let's go. After agreeing to a 2-year, $8 million deal, Winston is set to embark on his fourth NFL journey. Having previously suited up for the Buccaneers, Saints, and Browns, his career has been anything but boring, marked by flashes of brilliance and moments of, well, let's just call them high-risk, high-reward plays. He's known for his powerful arm and a gunslinging mentality that's sure to keep Giants fans on the edge of their seats. Interestingly, the article mentions that former Giants star Saquon Barkley might have played a role in Winston's decision to come to New York. Even after departing for Philadelphia, Barkley's influence seems to still be felt in the Giants' locker room. Now, the Giants' quarterback room is shaping up to be quite the spectacle. You've got the local folk hero Tommy DeVito, the newly arrived veteran Winston, and the ever-present rumors of Aaron Rodgers potentially joining the mix. The article playfully suggests that this trio could be the premise for a hilarious NFL sitcom. Imagine the dynamic between these three distinct personalities. Winston's arrival provides the Giants with a seasoned backup quarterback, but it also adds another layer of intrigue to their overall quarterback plans. Could he compete for the starting job? Does this signing impact their pursuit of Aaron Rodgers? And what about their plans for the upcoming NFL draft? The Big Blue, let's go message from Winston might be simple, but the quarterback situation in New York is anything but. Get ready for what could be a very interesting season in the Meadowlands. The ink is dry on Jameis Winston's deal with the New York Giants, and while it might seem like a minor transaction, it's actually created some significant ripples across the NFL landscape. Let's dive into the winners and losers of this quarterback domino falling in the Big Apple. First, the obvious winner, Jameis Winston himself. He's landed a 2-year gig in a major market, and while he's being paid like a backup, the opportunity to potentially start early in the season, especially if the Giants draft a young quarterback, is a huge win for him. Plus, his larger-than-life personality in New York could lead to some lucrative endorsement deals. Giants rookie receiver Malik Nabers is another winner. Winston's tendency to throw the ball frequently, he averaged over 40 attempts per game in his starts last year, could mean a significant boost in targets and production for the talented young wideout. Looking ahead to the draft, quarterbacks Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders also benefit. Winston's presence doesn't deter the Giants from potentially drafting a quarterback early, and it might even make it more likely as they look for a long-term solution. Now, on to the losers. Aaron Rodgers' leverage in negotiations with the Giants has definitely taken a hit. With Winston now on the roster, the Giants aren't solely reliant on Rodgers, potentially forcing him to reconsider his contract demands. Russell Wilson finds himself in a similar boat. The Giants were one of the few remaining teams where he might have had a shot at a starting role. Winston's arrival makes that scenario less likely, further narrowing Wilson's options in a shrinking quarterback market. Finally, Tommy DeVito's path to a secure roster spot with the Giants just got a whole lot tougher. With Winston now in the quarterback room, and the high probability of the Giants drafting another quarterback, DeVito could find himself as the odd man out come training camp. So, the Jameis Winston signing is more than just a backup quarterback move. It has significant implications for several players and teams across the NFL, shaping the free agent market and potentially influencing the upcoming draft. It's just another twist in the never-ending saga of the NFL offseason.